Welcome everyone. Today we will discuss paraneoplastic syndromes. In paraneoplastic syndromes, cancerous tumor produce chemicals that can make organ systems of the body behave abnormally. And if left untreated, this damage could be permanent. And not only these chemicals produced by cancerous tumors, but also the immune system can also play a part in possible damage to healthy cells and produce paraneoplastic syndromes. So what is paraneoplastic syndrome? A paraneoplastic syndrome is a set of signs and symptoms that occur in a people with a cancerous tumor. They develop when a malignant tumor releases a substance like hormone, protein, which affect a certain body system, and when the body's immune system releases a substance like antibody meant to kill the tumor but also damages healthy body cells. This is known as autoimmune response. Do you know how many people are affected by paraneoplastic syndrome? Paraneoplastic syndrome develops in roughly 20% of people who have cancer. They occur most often in a middle-aged people with breast, lymphatic, lung and ovarian cancer. So what are the risk factors for paraneoplastic syndrome? The risk factors include age, a previous cancer diagnosis or a family history of certain cancers. The types of cancer most likely to cause paraneoplastic syndromes are breast cancer, gastric or stomach cancer, leukemias, lymphoma, lung, especially small cell lung cancer, ovarian cancer, pancreatic cancer and renal or kidney cancer. These all are associated with paraneoplastic syndrome mostly. So what causes paraneoplastic syndrome? Reason is some cancerous tumors produce chemical which can direct certain organs in your body to work in an abnormal way. And this also produces signs and symptoms which would not occur in an otherwise healthy individual. And if left untreated, this can lead to permanent damage to the organ system. Furthermore, not only chemical but also your immune system can make a substance like antibody which helps certain cells recognize tumor cells that should be killed. Sometimes the signals get crossed and these cells attack healthy tissue instead, leading to signs and symptoms not expected in a previously healthy individual. So what are the symptoms of paraneoplastic syndrome? Symptoms of paraneoplastic syndromes vary depending on the organ system affected. In more than half of the cases, the symptoms appear before a person receives a cancer diagnosis. These syndrome symptoms may include fever, loss of appetite and weight, and night sweat. Less commonly, people experience other paraneoplastic syndromes, including neuroendocrine syndrome like high blood pressure, weakness, weight gain, neurological syndromes with symptoms such as dizziness, double vision, reduced reflexes, sensation and coordination, speech difficulty, weakness and skin syndromes which may produce flushing like redness, itching, benign non-cancerous skin growths. Now we will discuss different paraneoplastic syndrome individually. First we will discuss paraneoplastic endocrine syndromes. Paraneoplastic endocrine syndromes are syndrome of inappropriate ADH secretion, hypercalcemia, Cushing syndrome, hyperglycemia. First we will discuss Cushing syndrome. Cushing syndrome results from chronic exposure to excess glucocorticoid. Pituitary adenoma is the most common cause of adrenocorticotropic ACTH dependent hypercortisolism. In a minority of patients, ACTH is secreted by an ectopic extrapituitary neuroendocrine tumor. Paraneoplastic Cushing syndrome is a diagnostic challenge. It can be associated with different types of tumor. Small cell lung cancer and bronchial carcinoid tumors account for the majority of cases. Mechanism of Cushing syndrome is ectopic ACTH hypersecretion. Now coming to syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone secretion. The syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone secretion, which is characterized by hypoosmotic euvolumic hyponatremia, affect 1 to 2% of all patients with cancer. Small cell lung cancer accounts for most of these cases, with approximately 10% to 45% of all patients with small cell lung cancer developing syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone. This paraneoplastic syndrome arises from tumor cells production of antidiuretic hormone like ADH, also known as arginine vasopressin, and atrial natriuretic peptide. These antidiuretic hormone leads to increased free water reabsorption because atrial natriuretic peptide has natriuretic and antidiuretic properties. Mechanism of this paraneoplastic syndrome is ADH hypersecretion. Now coming to carcinoid syndrome. Carcinoid syndrome is a paraneoplastic syndrome comprising the signs and symptoms that occur secondary to carcinoid tumor. The syndrome includes flushing, diarrhea, and less frequently heart failure, vomiting, and bronchoconstriction. It is caused by endogenous secretion of mainly serotonin and kallikrein. This syndrome is associated with intestinal neuroendocrine tumor like carcinoid, usually associated with lung, thymic, and pancreatic neuroendocrine tumor. And one more important point is these syndrome usually develop with mid-gut neuroendocrine tumor metastatic to the liver due to secreted mediator that bypass clearance in the liver or direct secretion into the hepatic vein. Mechanism of carcinoid syndrome is due to secretion of serotonin and kallikrein that ultimately converted to bradykinin. Hypercalcemia is relatively common in patients with cancer. It is the most common cause of hypercalcemia in the inpatient setting. It occurs in patients with both solid tumor and hematological malignancy. Malignancy is usually evident clinically by the time it causes hypercalcemia, and a patient with hypercalcemia of malignancy often have a poor prognosis. Tumor associated with hypercalcemia are solid tumor with squamous histology, especially with lung squamous cell carcinoma, breast cancer, and also hematological malignancy like Hodgkin lymphoma, non-Hodgkin lymphoma, adult T cell leukemia lymphomas. Mechanism of hypercalcemia in case of squamous cell carcinoma, renal, bladder, breast, ovarian carcinoma is hormonal hypercalcemia of malignancy, also known as pseudo-hyperparathyroidism, is due to parathyroid hormone related peptide secretion by the tumor cells. Hypercalcemia in Hodgkin lymphoma and non-Hodgkin lymphoma is due to ectopic vitamin D production due to 1-alpha hydroxylase activity in the tumor cells. Hypercalcemia in case of multiple myeloma and breast cancer is due to local osteolytic hypercalcemia, which is osteolytic activity at site of skeletal metastasis. Paraneoplastic syndrome hypoglycemia is associated with pancreatic neuroendocrine tumor like insulinoma, adult nasidioblastosis, solitary fibrous tumor. Mechanism of hypoglycemia is insulin hypersecretion. Now coming to acanthosis nigricans as a paraneoplastic syndrome. The most common histological cancer type associated with acanthosis nigricans is gastric adenocarcinoma. Acanthosis nigricans is characterized by gray-brown hyperpigmented valvety plaques that often affect the neck, flexor area, and anogenital region. The malignant and benign forms are similar in appearance, but the malignant form progresses rapidly and pruritus is common. Oral lesion observed in 50% of cases and is generally located on the lip, tongue, and buccal mucosa. The pathogenesis of acanthosis nigricans is not clarified yet. The mechanism of acanthosis nigricans is tumoral paraneoplastic effect by secretion of tumor growth factor alpha leads to keratinocyte proliferation and the development of acanthosis nigricans. One other hypothesis is the interaction between the increased level of insulin with insulin-like growth factor receptor and their effect on keratinocyte and dermal fibroblast. Now coming to dermatomyositis as a paraneoplastic syndrome, which is associated with adenocarcinoma of cervix, lung, ovary, pancreas, bladder, stomach and nasopharyngeal carcinoma. The mechanism is abnormal immune system response to an underlying malignant tumor. Now coming to necrolytic migratory erythema as a paraneoplastic syndrome, which is associated with pancreatic neuroendocrine tumor, especially with glucagonoma, and this is due to glucagon hypersecretion. Amyloidosis as a paraneoplastic syndrome is associated with plasma cell dyscrasias like multiple myeloma, lymphoplasmacytic lymphoma. Mechanism of amyloidosis is due to aberrant immunoglobulin light chain secretion by abnormal plasma cells. Now coming to Lambert-Eaton syndrome, this is associated with small cell lung cancer and squamous cell carcinoma of lung. Mechanism of Lambert-Eaton syndrome is immunological due to presynaptic voltage gated calcium channel autoantibody. Now coming to polycythemia as a paraneoplastic syndrome associated with renal cell carcinoma, hepatocellular carcinoma, hemangioblastoma, pheochromocytoma, uterine leiomyomas. This is due to erythropoietin secretion by the tumor cells. Now coming to myasthenia gravis and pure red cell aplasia as a paraneoplastic syndrome which is associated with thymoma. The mechanism of myasthenia gravis is immunological. It is due to autoantibodies against nicotinic acetylcholine receptor of neuromuscular end plate. Now coming to Trousseau syndrome, also known as migratory superficial thrombophlebitis. This paraneoplastic syndrome is associated with pancreatic, gastric and lung adenocarcinoma. However, mechanism of this paraneoplastic syndrome is unknown. This is a malignancy related hypercoagulability lead to recurring clots that resolving and appear again elsewhere in the body. So, clot is migratory. Now coming to acromegaly as a paraneoplastic syndrome. This is a rare paraneoplastic syndrome. Associated tumor are neuroendocrine tumor, particularly well differentiated neuroendocrine tumor of multiple organ sites like from lung, pancreas, duodenum and thymus, and also including those associated with Mann-1 syndrome, hypothalamic tumors which include hamartoma, choristoma, gliomas, gangliocytomas, etc. Mechanism is ectopic growth hormone releasing hormone secretion. Now coming to oncogenic osteomalacia. Associated tumor are phosphaturic mesenchymal tumor of mixed connective type, hemangiopericytoma and rarely from osteosarcoma and fibrosarcoma. Mechanism is fibroblast growth factor 23 and other phosphaturic proteins. So this is all about paraneoplastic syndrome. So now we will discuss treatment of paraneoplastic syndrome. How the paraneoplastic syndrome managed or treated. In paraneoplastic syndrome, the doctor will attempt to manage the symptoms in an effort to decrease damage. The therapies include corticosteroid, immunosuppression, intravenous immunoglobulins, plasmapheresis, physical and speech therapy. Corticosteroids, medications that reduce inflammation and swelling. Immunosuppression drugs that manage the autoimmune response. Intravenous immunoglobulin which help destroy the antibodies causing the syndrome. Plasmapheresis is a procedure that decreases the numbers of antibodies by removing plasma from the blood. Physical and speech therapy will lead to muscle exercises that help people improve functions like speech and movement. So this is all about paraneoplastic syndrome. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much. Bye bye.